All right, now to calculate your budget line, all right, we're going to use the same set of axes that we use for our indifference curve. Now, the set of axes that we use for our indifference curve has the quantity of product A and the quantity of product B on your axes. Okay. So for your indifference curve, it's got the quantities. For your budget line, it's got the quantities. All right. So if they do ask you to calculate your budget line, typically what they do is they say the income of the consumer is 100 Rand. Okay. You're going to buy lunch. So your income is 100 Rand that you have to spend on lunch. All right. The price of burgers is 20 Rand. And the price of Coca-Cola is 10 Rand. Okay? So let's say that this is burgers and this is Coca-Cola. All right. To calculate your budget line, what you need to do is you need to divide your income by the prices of those two products. So, for burgers, it is 100 Rand divided by 20 gives me an answer of 5. If I spend all my income available on only burgers, I can buy 5 burgers with my 100 Rand. Okay? So that's the first point that you plot on your axis, 5. If, on the other hand, I spend my entire income on Coke, 100 Rand divided by 10 Rand, the price of Coke, I can afford 10 units. If I spend my entire income on Coke, I can afford 10 units. The budget line is simply when you join those dots together. All right, that is your budget line. All right, so why would we draw the budget line? Because obviously, if you are hungry and thirsty, you're not going to walk into the takeaway and buy 5 burgers and nothing else. Or you're not going to walk in and buy 10 Cokes and nothing else. You are going to buy a combination of those two products. Okay, burgers and Coke. So we can take a certain quantity, whatever it is, 3 burgers and 4 Cokes. Somewhere along the budget line would be your chosen point, would be where you want to consume. Does that make sense? Now, what if suddenly I told you that the price of hamburgers, they were running a special on hamburgers, and suddenly the price of hamburgers changed from 20 Rand, and for this week only, the price of burgers decreased from 20 Rand to 10 Rand. How do we calculate our new budget line? In exactly the same way. So what you would do is you would divide your income, 100 Rand, by 10, and now suddenly you can afford 10 burgers. So if we had to plot that same budget line, remember the price of Coke hasn't changed. So our new budget line would look like that. Okay? Do you see how when the price of hamburgers decreased, the budget line pivoted upwards? It pivoted outwards. Okay. Now a pivot is when a curve changes, but one point stays the same. So in this case, obviously, that end point remained the same. Okay. So now this sometimes confuses students. The price of burgers has decreased, therefore the quantity has increased. That's why we pivot the curve away from the point of origin when the price decreases. Okay. So that's the first thing they can ask you. Calculate your budget line, draw your budget line, whatever the case is. All right? Then they can say, show the impact of a change in price on your budget line. All right? And that's what we just drew there. What if, on the other hand, I told you that the price of Coke had increased? So now the price of Coke actually increased from 10 Rand to 20 Rand a can. Now suddenly, 100 divided by 20 equals 5. Now suddenly, I can only afford 5 cans of Coke. So what we are going to do, if we stick with our new price of burgers of 10 Rand, we are going to pivot the curve inwards. Okay? So because the price has increased, I'm actually pivoting the curve inwards. All right. And then the final thing that they can ask you is, let's just go back to our original. What did we say? We could afford 5 burgers or 10 cans of Coke. So Monday morning you go to work and your boss is running around with a massive smile on his face. The company has just landed the biggest contract in history and everybody's getting double paychecks. Okay? Suddenly your income doubles from 100 Rand to 200 Rand. Okay? So you're equally happy. Let's calculate our new budget line. Okay? 200 divided by the original price of burgers, which was 20, now gives me 10. 200 divided by 10, the original price of Coke, now gives me 20. So what's going to happen? That is our new budget line. Our new budget line is the green one. And look what's happened. There has been a parallel shift of the budget line. Okay. On Tuesday morning, you walk into work and your boss is moping around. Everybody's moping around because that big contract you actually lost, and you lost a few other contracts, and suddenly you got an income decrease. We pivot the curve, we shift the curve towards the point of origin. All right? Does that make sense? So those are the only 2 changes that they can really give you to your budget line. Change in price of one of the products, or change in price in both of the products, and change in income. Okay.